Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode in our 2022 Team Recap Series. I'm your host, Zachary Bell, here with Running on Scuffs. And this episode, we're looking at, in my opinion, the most fascinating team in NASCAR this season. That is one owned by my favorite driver, Denny Hamlin. It's 2311 Racing, y'all. And let's dive into this team. So we're going to start with Bubba Wallace. He finished 19th in the point standings this year. He had a win at Kansas in the fall. He had 5 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and an 18.3 average finish. Now the other car, because they did switch numbers in the playoffs, so we'll start with Kurt Busch's stats. In 20 races, Kurt Busch had 1 win, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and a 16.9 average finish. And Ty Gibbs ran at 15 of the final 16 races, excluding the Phoenix finale, of course, with the tragic passing of his father, Coy Gibbs. And Ty Gibbs had 1 top 10 and a 22.9 average finish in those 15 races. Some highlights for 2311 include that they won both Kansas races. Kurt Busch presumably won his final Cup Series race in the spring at Kansas, and Bubba Wallace won, of course, in NASCAR's return in the fall. The team did qualify for the owner playoffs through Kurt Busch's 45 car, and if he was healthy and wouldn't have had that wreck at Pocono, Kurt Busch would have made both the driver and owners playoffs. In the owners playoffs, they advanced to the round of 12 because of Bubba Wallace's win at Kansas. And a highlight for Bubba Wallace this season is improved road course racing, including a top 5 finish at the Indy GP. He actually had 4 straight top 10s over the summer, including top 10s at Loudon, Pocono, the Indy road course, and Michigan. Low lights for the team. Bubba Wallace's crew chief, Booty Barker, was suspended after COTA for the wheel falling off penalty we saw quite frequently this year. And also, Bubba Wallace's team specifically very, very slow start to the season. He had 2 top 10s through the first 18 races, including 11 straight finishes outside the top 10 after the Daytona 500. They obviously rebounded quite a bit this season in the second half, including that stretch of top 10 finishes I just referenced. There are quite a few major stories surrounding 2311 this year. This is largely why I talk about them being the most interesting team in NASCAR. Kurt Busch had a season-ending injury at Pocono that led to Ty Gibbs stepping in for his replacement for every race except for Phoenix. Of course, Daniel Hemrick filled in for Phoenix, with Ty Gibbs spending time with his family after the passing of Coy Gibbs. Bubba Wallace was also suspended for a race for wrecking Kyle Larson at Las Vegas. John Hunter Nemechek filled in for that team at Homestead, Miami. So this team had 2 full-time entries, 5 different drivers, competed in at least 1 race for them across those 2 entries. And the car that Kurt Busch would have been driving, the 23 car had 3 different drivers. It had it had Bubba Wallace, it had Ty Gibbs when they moved to the playoffs. He moved to the 23, and it had Daniel Hemrick. The 45 also had 3 drivers technically, with Kurt Busch and then Bubba Wallace picking it up when it was in the playoffs. And then after Bubba Wallace's suspension, John Hunter Nemechek drove it for a race. Looking forward to 2023, this team, I think, has one of the brightest futures in the garage. Tyler Reddick had signed to join them this summer and was supposed to join in 2024. However, Reddick is coming a year early to replace Kurt Busch in the 45. And it's unconfirmed right now, but Kurt Busch could return to racing with the team if he deems himself ready and healthy enough to. When Kurt Busch talked about his stepping down from full-time racing, he was very, very specific in mentioning that it is not a retirement, and that's why his family's not there. So he is hoping to pursue other racing ventures, most likely with Denny Hamlin and 2311 Racing. Other than that, that is it for this team. And in the next episode, you will see Justin Seeger talking about SHR and their 2022 season. Thank you and have a great day.